Okay, so today's topic is going to be central angles and the measure of arcs. So it says here a quick definition: a central angle of a circle is the angle formed by two radii of the circle. Its vertex is the center of the circle. So the vertex of the angle, if it is a central angle, must be the center of the circle. So this would be a central angle. All of the central angles inside of the circle add up to 360. So if you add up all around, all the central angles will equal to 360. Okay. An arc is part of the circumference of the circle. Minor arc is always less than 180. Minor arc is less than 180. And a major arc is more than 180. 180 is called a semicircle. Half the circle is always a semicircle, which is 180 degrees. Okay? So that would be half a circle. And the measure of the arc is always going to be the same as the measure of the central angle. So what this is saying is that if this angle is a central angle, and if it measures 60 degrees, then the measure of the arc will also be 60 degrees. It's always the same. The measure of the arc is the same as the measure of the central angle. So here's an example for you. It says there, the measure of the central angle is equal to the measure of the minor arc. So the angle is 120 degrees. So if you find that the measure of this arc here is 120, then this has to be 120 degrees as well. It's always the same degree measure. So now we are going to try some of on our own. So this one, it's asking you to find the measure of the arc. So the measure of the arc, in this case, because this is a central angle, the measure of the arc needs to be the same as the central angle. So the measure of that arc would be 123 degrees, same as the central angle. Now I did this once already, some of it, but essentially, if you want to find the measure of the arcs, in this case, I am going to label the measure of all the arcs. So you should know that all around the circle is 360. So if I only know this angle over here is 135, then if that's 135, I know that this is a semicircle. So arc BC and the central angle has to be 180 minus 135 because it's a semicircle. So this angle here, or this, either one, if you look at, this is also a diameter. So you can look either way. So this angle here has to be 180 minus 135. That's 180 minus 135. They're also vertical angles. So each one of them has to be 45. Okay? And then once you have that, all around the circle is 180. So you can do 135 plus 45 plus 45. This is also 45 over here. So plus 81. And then after you get that, you can subtract from 360. Okay? So that takes care of that. Which gives you this angle here, which is 54. And if that is true, you can say that the measure of arc DC is 54. The measure of arc, this is how we write arc. DC would be this arc BC would be 45. My arc EF would be 45. Arc BF would be 135. And arc, I guess I have 245, 54, and so we're missing ED. So the measure of arc ED would be the same as the central angle over here. So it's 81. Okay, so they always have to add up to 360. Vertical angles are always equal. Half a circle is 180. So for number this one over here, you have to go, they told you that this arc is 86, which means this angle here is 86 because it's a central angle. This arc here is 154. This arc is 60. All around the circle is 360. So what I did was 154 plus 60 plus 86. And then I subtracted that from 360. And after I subtracted that from 360, I divided by 2 because these two have dashes, which means they're congruent. So they're both 80 degrees, which means these arcs here are also going to be 80 degrees. And then over here, similar process. I know that this is a semicircle. So 180 minus 126 gives me 54. And now these two are vertical. So I have two 54s. And then what I can do is do 360 minus 234. And that should give me 126. And because I have two congruent angles here, I just divide that by 2. Okay? And the corresponding arcs would be the same measure. So over here, arc BC would be 54. Here is arc EF is 54, and so forth. Okay? And then for the last one, once again, I looked at this is a semicircle. So I did 180 minus 125. Sorry, minus 55, because I was given 55. So this is 55. So I can do 180 minus 55, and that gave me 125. These two are vertical. So this is 125, so is this. They're both 125. 125 plus 125 plus 55 plus 55 is going to give me 360. And the measure of the corresponding arcs. So the measure of arc JM, that's how you write arc, is 125. So is this one, and so forth. Okay, so that is how you relate central angles to the measure of arcs. See you next time. Thank you.